Hey guys, and welcome to yet another scrap between myself, a rubber duck of war, going under the guise of the Blind Bandit, up against the mighty King of Atolia, aka Capt Tellus. Now, I believe we managed to begin double games back to back. I'm recording a few of these in advance between myself and Capt Tellus, and boy oh boy do we have some fantastic games. We really need to get like a best of 7 against each other on something like Turin or Darv or Logic's channel. It'll be certainly some good fun, and today we are trying to fight for the right to party, but also fight for our beloved Chaos Gods. Who is the ever-chosen? Is it the mighty Archaon, or Archie as he is now dubbed, or is it this pesky Doomball in the distance? We'll have to wait and see. So we are on the forces of Chaos today, and we've got quite an interesting build. We have what seems on paper to be a rush build, but has been changed heavily due to one inclusion. So on the flanks, we have some Chaos Warriors with great weapons, and then we have Forsaken and Mirror Guard dotted through the front. I absolutely adore Forsaken in this matchup. They have huge damage output, they can rip, they can tear, and they sometimes do struggle up against heavy armor. Luckily for us, the Beastmen certainly lack a lot of armor. Forsaken will be good up against all the infantry and dish out pretty big damage to their heavy hitters. We do have triple horsemen in the front. I am always very tired of seeing horsemen on the battlefield, particularly the skirmish cav horsemen, but they are a necessity in case your opponent brings a load of thrown axes. And looks like we've matched each other 3 for 3 here in the skirmish cav department. We have double chaos spawn to help clear out the chaff and pin in big monsters. We have one unit of chaos chariots. They are attempting to overrun. I was kind of interested to see how they did against warhounds, in case there's any warhounds deployed behind me, to ramrod into the warhounds and try to run them over. And we also have the Soul of Damnation currently going boom and blood for the blood god to bring the pain to the enemy. The mighty Archie today has a fireball, a flaming sword, a burning head, standard die, and Slayer of Kings. Slayer of Kings, such a powerful ability here, gives him a plus 75% splash, plus 50% splash, 75% armor piercing, and base damage. He's also coming in with that glorious immune to psychology. I thought I brought his crown, but I guess I did not. My opponent's forces, we do have your standard skirmish cav kind of distracting the front line, dancing around in the sand here. They are the Centaurs with thrown axes, and we have 3 of them today. None of them are the Regiment of Renown, sadly. A load of cheap and cheerful infantry in the form of Ungor herds dotted in the front battle line, backed up by triple Bestigors who shall be cleaving asunder my armour if they can get to grips with me. Quite a counter to the Forsaken rush, actually. We have a Brave Shaman of Wild in the back here, coming in with Brave Scream, Traitorkin, and Devolve there, all good debuff spells. He's going to be on foot though, so no chat for him. And an epic, mighty, roaring beast. Look at him go! He's so happy to come here and fight out. I love his little horn goatee there. The Blood Brute Behemoth. He will slaughter characters, monsters, basically everything that gets in his path. His main weakness is that missile pressure. Luckily for him, we don't have too much of that today. Leading the battle line is the more cheap cousin of Taurox. He's not quite so wealthy, doesn't want to pay out for those extortionate brass body rates, so he's coming in a little bit more naked. Still 100 armor, has that really lovely daze effect, and is quite a powerful combatant. I like him quite a bit. Barbed Knuckle Boxing, Deadly Onslaught, and the Hellfire Sword, which I guess he just straps one of his gloves here. A beautiful model. I wish we got to see a lot more of him, but unfortunately Taurox kind of dominates the Beastmen scene at the moment. So without further ado, let's get this battle underway. Hellcannon has been pounding into the Centaurs with thrown axes, looking to try to ensure that I can win that skirmish game. We do decide to jump the Centaurs on this far flank. Now, this is a real messy engagement. I had 2 units versus 1. These are not Horse Masters, though. My opponent is bringing over some Centaurs as well as Spearheads. So we're going to counter-charge and actually commit to this fight, whilst trying to pull away 1 unit of Horsemen, commit with the Forsaken, and try to pin in with the other one. Forsaken will do a really good job here against the Thrown Axes and Ungor Raiders. It looks like the Hell Cannon has switched targets now, training their dwarvish beady eyes onto the Bestigors, doing some pretty big damage, up to 14 kills already. We're going to commit to the fight, so Chaos Warriors are going to pull back. I'm actually going to be using them up against the Bestigors and trying to force my Forsaken onto the lightly armoured Ungors. Unfortunately, it becomes basically a giant flustercluck, and it's just going to be absolute madness on the left-hand side. We are using the chariots alongside the horsemen to fend off the other Centaurs. Chariots bouncing around, taking quite a bit of damage, but if the chariots are taking the thrown axes, my key targets are not. In the front line, you can see the Forsaken struggling a little bit up against the Bestigor herds. We do have Archaon here. Slayer of Kings popped, giving him that splash damage. Should mean he'd be able to carve a few of these guys apart, but we're actually going for a duel up against the Doomball. Both our guys have buffed up quite significantly, and the Fat Burning Head does come down the line roasting some Bestigors. Not the best cast there, but not terrible either. Archaon is getting slapped by the Blood Brute and is going to have to very swiftly retreat there. Foe Seeker popped to give him a little bit of a speed buff. Now, the Chaos Spawn, as well as the Mirror Guard, have dispatched some Bestigors and will be falling back to key elements of the battlefield. And over on this side, you can see we have done really solid damage to the Centaurs, but lost some of our own cavalry, although some of them were able to pull back as well. Unfortunately, our chariots have been dealt with, but not before breaking at the Ungors. However, it looks like the Ungors may indeed be able to rally. So, balance power is slightly against us. That's nothing to be shocked about. To be honest, Beastmen do tend to have a massive advantage on balance of power. I'm not 100% sure why. It's one of those weird things in the game. Archaon is going toe-to-toe with the Doom Bull right now, and that should certainly favour Archaon quite a bit in a 1v1 engagement, despite that dazed debuff. And he's coming down with a Flaming Sword of Rune now, buffing up my Horsemen, as well as these Chaos Warriors are great weapons. We should be able to overwhelm and hopefully destroy all my enemy skirmish cav, and chase that pesky Doom Bull back from whence he came. See, my opponent is trying to drag me, though, towards the Blood Brute at every opportunity. Lovely Brave Scream goes down, doing some decent damage to the Forsaken. I do fall back with Archie. As soon as we get closer to the Blood Brute, I want none of that beef whatsoever. And now Archie is going to jump over onto the Brave Shaman. I'm actually going to pull away a little bit first, just to make sure my opponent isn't chasing with the Blood Brute. And then we're going to hop on the Brave Shaman, who does actually miscast there, but gets a lovely Traderkin down on both Chaos Spawn and some Forsaken. In the main fight here in the centre, Chaos Warriors are great weapons, were preserved relatively well early on, and now they're just cleaving their way through Centaurs with the help of the Horsemen, who are launching Javelin after Javelin into the Bestigors. Unfortunately, the Glorious Soul of Damnations has gone down. It did get 26 kills. It was an interesting choice to force my opponent to be aggressive. I don't know if it's the best in this matchup, but hey, it did relatively decent work. This is a top play by my opponent here, so he actually pins in Archie with some Centaurs of Thrown Axes, allowing the Blood Brute to catch up. We are going to force our way through with the help of a Burning Head to try to clear the path, but Archie is getting obliterated down to just 1000 HP. Oh my god, he's very lucky to survive a rear attack there from the Blood Brute, and we can fall back to friendly territory, use the Chaos Spawn to pin the enemy in place, and the balance of power is so close to army losses right now against us. It is disgustingly against us, and I can certainly see why the Blood Brute's so healthy, but I'm definitely not out of it. I'm not quite sure why it's that terrible. There's okay ammunition on these Centaurs. We still have some Horsemen though. My opponent's leader is nearly dead. And we still have these glorious Chaos Warriors with great weapons. We pop in a nice fireball into the flank of the Doom Bull. Currently has just shy of 800 HP. A lovely little juke there by my opponent. He gets clipped, but not slaughtered. Just a nice little singe in there on his goatee. The Chaos Warriors great weapons trying their hardest here, fighting alongside the Chaos Spawn to drag down the mighty Gorgon, which is currently full health, which is pretty scary indeed. Luckily, we have this one unit of Horsemen still alive. If we can keep them away from the Centaurs with Thrown Axes, or force off the Centaurs, maybe we can swarm, surround the Gorgon, and drag the fell beast down, because as I said earlier on, it is really susceptible to missile pressure. Only 50 armor and a massive target. Second fireball is going to be going in, and once again my opponent pulls off a brilliant maneuver, actually hiding behind the Gorgon, saving the Doom Bull once more. That pesky Doom Bull will be back and get you one day. Elsewhere in the battlefield, we do have some more Horsemen rallying, which is huge, because these guys have a bucket ton of ammunition. They still have, let's have a little look, 14 rounds of ammo. So we're actually going to take our Horsemen here and move into combat up against the Ungor herds, wasting some ammo on the way, but if we can crush these guys, I'm going to be absolutely all for it. We do have more Forsaken rallying back to the cause. The Mirror God having that immune to psychology is going to be relatively huge right now. Of course, the Blood Brute does indeed cause fear and terror. The Doom Bull is trying to get in there to slaughter Archie. We do pop a fireball in his face and then run away and hide behind our forces. Foe Seeker going down as well as Stand or Die. And now we're surrounding, whirling and dancing around the Doom Bull, throwing javelin after javelin. And the poor boy does indeed hit the dirt. Despite that, the balance power is still very close to army losses and heavily against us. And that is due to this mighty Blood Brute being so healthy. And of course it has regeneration, and balance power loves a little bit of regen. One unit of Horsemen is down to just one volley. The other one, though, still has 11, and you can bet all of those shots, where possible, are going to be going in to the Blood Brute itself. My opponent still has some Centaurs, but they are currently out of ammunition, though they're going to be getting used rather well here to chase away my Horsemen. We can commit to the weakened force without the ammo, plus Archie maybe to overwhelm these guys, but it looks like I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm dancing and pushing them away, trying to save these Horsemen, which probably is the right play there. I love the look. I don't know what I'm doing here. That's basically me every battle 99% of the way through. Chaos Warriors up to 83 kills. They've been a really solid troop. They actually shattered the Ungors, and we continue to surround the Blood Brute. You can see the Mirror Guard are also standing firm against such a horrific beast, trying to make their boy Sigvald impressed and show off, of course, in front of the Ever-Chosen. We do have some Ungor Spearheads and Bestigors who are currently on their way back. 43 Bestigors is certainly no joke. This other unit will most likely go down, and the Horsemen have managed to break the Centaurs with the help of Archaon, or Archie, and we're about to force them off the field so they can't come back for good. Still a bucket ton of ammunition left on these Horsemen, and they've done a real number on the Blood Brute. You can see his healing cap. That regeneration, I believe, is only when he's in combat. And let's have a little look for it. It does have a Blood Creed, Frenzy, and Strength from Flesh. So he's devouring the enemy. During the battle, he gets regeneration constant if he is indeed in melee. Some lovely Scythefin and Dyson attacks up to 86 kills. Bestigors do shatter around him, but he manages to break the Chaos Warriors. Mirror God just about holding on. We do come with Archaon, Stand or Die, and this is our Hail Mary. We need to bring this beast down. It is an epic confrontation, and oh my god, he's swinging those blades around. Archie's defense holds them with Stand or Die popped. He is quite a tough customer. Slayer of Kings is active as well, and a big flaming sword hacking at the shins of the beast. Javelins in the back, cavalry committing to a death charge, and we bring low the dreaded beast. It doth fall next to the carcass of the Hell Cannon. Going to be retreating back now. We have basically 0 infantry. Bounce power does move itself back to the middle, but still slightly in favour of my opponent. He's trying to get me to waste my ammunition on these Ungor Spearheads, but we're going to be constantly throwing those javelins into the Bestigors, trying to whittle them down. Still 43 models, and Archaon did take one slap there from the Behemoth, down to just 512 HP, and he is wavering. 4 leadership is nothing. So at this point, we're just going to use up all our ammunition, bring back this unit of cavalry as well, and go for a final death charge. If we look around the battlefield, we have 11 Chaos Warriors. Unlikely they make it back to the battlefield at any point. Horsemen are going to do some lovely cycle charging here as we are bringing back our other troops, but it doesn't look like it's going to work really well. We are throwing javelins, but unfortunately do rout and break. Fat Fireball comes in, cleaving its way through some of those Bestigors, who now lay dead next to their mighty beast. He's doing a full-on little sploof spread, isn't he, there? He's trying to stretch out nice and far. He's just taking a little nap. Archaon's going to wait, of course, for his more of the Horsemen to catch up. They're going to be moving over here, and we're going to prepare ourselves for death or glory. Now, I'm not too worried about the Ungor Spearheads, because as soon as they get charged, they're going to break. But the Bestigors could be another problem. We do have some Chaos Warriors returning. I'm not going to bother waiting for them, because I don't think they're actually going to make it without breaking. 1 leadership is nothing. And I'm instantly going to try to charge the Ungors. It is, in some regards, better to charge the Bestigors and get the charge bonus used up on them. But I want to break this unit as quickly as possible. We do come in with Foe Seeker, Stand or Die, which is so crucial, buffing our leadership and our melee defense. And now we move in up against the Bestigors. Archie is down just 400, 300 now, and 79 HP, but he is bringing the business, running his way through the Bestigors, and doing his best to decapitate as many as he can on the way. More of the Horsemen are trying their little hardest. They're not, of course, used to fighting in sustained combat, and they're starting to waver. Likewise are the Bestigors. Stand or Die is now gone, and we have 358 HP, but the Slayer of Kings has been drawn, and at its mere sight, the Bestigors know they are no match for the Ever-Chosen, the chosen of the gods. Once again is the mighty Archie. A Pyrrhic victory, a insanely close game, one of my favourite games in a long time. We had so many good games though. I've already cast 2 from some games we played. We might even do some more, I don't know. But that was some really beautiful stuff there. Well played to Captellus, aka King of Atolia here. He certainly did the Beastmen proud, but what can men do against such reckless Ever-Chosen play? The Ever-Chosen was just about able to secure victory today. Massive damage value done by the Blood Brute, over 3,000 damage dealt. Archaon, though, once again getting that top spot, 3,399 damage value. Hope you guys cast that one. It was a wild game. It was really fun to play, super fun to cast as well. Very enthusiastic about that one. And yeah, it was really beautiful stuff all around. I will go, of course, into all the stats, details, damage value, damage dealt, for those who are interested in that. For those who aren't, thank you for going this far in the video regardless, but we'll be hopping to that in just a second. Before then though, if you guys would, feel free to hit a big old fat thumbs up down below underneath the video. It helps out massively. Likewise does subscribing, commenting, all that good standard YouTube stuff. There's a load of links down below in my description. It has been updated recently, so definitely go check it out. Links to my Twitch channel, where I'm probably going to be doing a stream on Friday, actually a Total War Warhammer stream. Links to my Patreon to support the channel, my Discord where you can submit replays to me, get involved with tournaments, events and all that cool stuff, meet a load of players. Links down below to my merch. There's links everywhere. Go check it out if you're interested. But wait, back to the main battle. The Ever-Chosen, the chaddiest of chads to ever chad the field of chads. I've always liked the Ever-Chosen. He's a pretty cool character. Not my favourite Warriors of Chaos Legendary Lord. Of course, we have the mighty wielder of Star Crusher, Kolek, who's probably my #1 boy. But after this battle, I've got to tell you, the Ever-Chosen man, an absolute lad. 3,399 damage value, over 11k damage dealt, 39 kills. Beautiful work there by the boy. Forsaken, 328, 420, and 750 damage value on them. 1.3k on the Chaos Warriors with Great Weapons, 1.1k on the Mirror Guard. Both these units did really good. The Forsaken, not the best damage value, but they killed all the chaff, particularly this unit of 117 kills. The other two really brought the pain, though, and helped dispatch the best scores as well as the chaff. Chaos Chariot, we didn't really get to test it out against Hounds like I intended it to be used, but it absorbed a lot of damage, didn't do too much, kind of survived on the left-hand side and wasted a load of thrown axes. Horseman did a really good job. I mean, 1,000 damage value is certainly not shabby. 330 and 609, not terrible. Really useful in the later stages of the game to drag down the naked creature of destruction. And also, I think we did it was quite an even skirmish game, actually. Both of us kind of having that one skirmish unit being really powerful at the later stages. Chaos Spawn did their job, surrounding big creatures and killing chaff with 56 and 103 kills, 600 damage value, and 1,073. Solid Damnations did okay. It forced my opponent in, did some good damage to those best scores, as well as giving myself a little bit of a head start and advantage in the skirmish game by focusing down those Centicles with thrown axes. 935 damage value, not great, but not bad either. As I kept telling us that Doom Ball was a one-man wrecking ball, 1,366 damage value. But that was his problem. He was a one-man wrecking ball. If he was alongside the Gorgon, able to hunt down Archon, they would have done a lot more. And they did in the early stages. You could see the Ever-Chosen getting a little bit of slapped around a little bit, unfortunately. But still, decent job by Doom Ball. I like him a lot. His model was very, very cool. Brave Shaman of Wild, 476 damage value, unfortunately getting sniped out. The Ungors did okay, but nothing too insane. As for the best scores, 748, 556, and 1,417 damage value. So, two performing average to a little bit badish, and this one performing really well. 1,400 damage value, some fantastic work there from the besties. Centicles of Thrown Axes, 750 damage value, 600 and 1,200, and then that's just pretty damn good work actually from the Thrown Axes for the most part. And the Blood Brute Behemoth, 3,057 damage value. Legendary stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.